Alright, so before I start researching and valuing the more special stuff, here is some of the more loose pieces, just like random bricks and stuff. I also threw the base plates in there. I think three of them are real, one of them's fake. I'll just say $10 for all three since they are common colors. And for the rest of these parts, it's about 7 pounds. I'll just say an even $25. So for this tub, I would value it at 35. So now that I'm done with this, I'll move on to the loose figures. Alright, so I managed to build 50 figures, all with arms, hands, and all that stuff. And I like to value these at about $1 a piece. There are some nice Star Wars parts like that. Obviously nothing that can make a nice Star Wars figure. But I think this right here in front of me is $50. I think that's fair. But that's not all for the loose figure parts because there are extras. Lots of little extras, capes, hair, headpieces, just lots of extra parts there. I would say a fair value for that. I think I'll go 15, so I can just start off at 100 with the 35 from the miscellaneous parts. So now that I'm done with the loose figures and the loose bricks, I'll move on to the more unique parts and more valuable things from this lot. Alright, before I start doing the sets and figures and stuff, I did separate a lot of friends' animals and stuff in these friends' bags. And there's the Mercedes car, the other car is not there. With these two things combined, I'll say 15 because there is a lot of friends' animals in here, a couple figures as well. So I think 15 is reasonable. Again, if you think you have better values for some of these things, feel free to pitch in your ideas down below, but that's what I'm going to go off of. So 100 from the stuff before I even got here, and then the 15. And I will start off with the sealed Star Wars set. So, yeah, sealed Star Wars set, the cheapest is 17, and it's sold on average for about 18, 20. I'll say 18 for it. And next, we have the Duplo set, which actually is also complete, and none have sold. Cheapest with no box is 12. I'm not a big fan of Duplo, so I'll just give it a solid 10. And then next is the Bulldozer. It's incomplete. I can tell you that for sure, but I think it might be worth completing in the future. This is the US version, which I'm assuming it is. I think there's the identical version for other countries. But incomplete without rubber bands, are asking 31, so I'll just say a solid 20 for the Bulldozer set. Next, there's the Infinity Gauntlet, which is missing like maybe 5 parts. I inventoried it, maybe 5 parts. I don't think I have all of them, but complete, it's worth about 37. Subtract maybe 5 for all the parts I'm missing. I will add 32. Next is Technic Police Car. I think it's missing like 2 parts, but I may have them buried somewhere. So, most definitely worth completing. Unused sticker sheet. I will say a solid 7 for this. Next is Batwing Polybag. It's missing 1 part. I'm sure I have it, but just to make this reasonable, I'm not going to, take my own parts and put it in this lot. And it doesn't sell for much. I'll just say $2 since I think it's pretty neat. And then next, there is the Police Swamp Police Helicopter Polybag. This is actually complete, so I did get something complete besides a Duplo set and a brand new set, and this is only worth about $1, but I'll say 2 because it's a polybag and has a figure, so I'll just say 2. Next is this TIE Fighter, which is incomplete as well. It doesn't have all the figures, I know that for sure. I'll just say $10 for the model, since for the model they're asking about 20. So I'll just say $10 for that. And next, we're actually going to move on to some figure parts. So I'll go ahead and lay some of these out for you to see, and then I will go through them and add their values. These are like the non-figure parts, like just the random thing, a couple heads, green ninja mask. So the reason I'm including this Harry Potter dog is, according to Bricklink, they sell for $5 a piece. So I guess I'll say 12, but I guess they're worth 15. And then some Geonosian wings, I believe that's how you say it, and these are about 7.
So 7 for those. Then you have this Geonosian guy head, which is right here. I was not able to complete that figure, but this does have an average selling price of $4. Next is this like Roman helmet, which I believe goes to a Lord of the Rings set. There's a couple Lord of the Rings things in here, which are always great when it comes to value. And this is on average selling for $11. I'll say 10 for it. And then you have these heads, Lord of the Rings. I'm not even going to try and say that. But I had some extra heads, and you'll see what I mean by extra. So 2 of those, and they sell for about $3. I'll say 5 for both. And then you have the Ninja head wrap, and it's the green one. The cheapest is $55, but that's near new. This one has like chew marks, so I'm not really sure what to value it at. But since that's $55, the price guide is like $30, so I'll say $25. And I guess I forgot the cape, so I'll try and find the cape real quick. There's so many different kinds. I think it's this one. Short cape in dark bluish gray. That's about $4, and I believe this goes to Lord of the Rings as well. Yep, Lord of the Rings. So Lord of the Rings really does help. And with that, I'm going to move on to the figures. Not a lot of things left. So I'll get these figures laid out for you and see what I got. There, I do have a pretty nice one, but unfortunately, it has something called a cracked torso, which really does kill it. Really does kill it. So, try and get these laid out. I'm not sure how well the scales, that guy, is going to fit, because he can't go flat. But I have this TIE Fighter pilot from that TIE Fighter set I just looked at. Average selling price, $3. Mighty Thor, average price, $4. And then this guy, I was able to make 2 of them. I think one of them has some chewed up legs, so keep that in mind. Because they're worth about 10. I'll say 15 for the pair. Scales. I was wrong in the video. I thought this was worth 20, but I guess this is one of the more least valuable figures. But average selling price of 13. So that's pretty neat as well. And now we're moving on to some good stuff. Mandalorian Super Commando does have the jetpack. And this sells on average for about 15, 16. So that's pretty good. And then you have Jango Fett. He is missing the little like antenna thing. And I'm almost for sure. And I make sure I get the head. I got just the right head. It's the right head under there. And so far, none of these are cracked. I believe I checked all them. But there is one cracked, and it's the last one you see. And this sells on average for like 30. But it's missing the antenna. But this antenna is worth like a quarter. So I will just say 30. And there is one last figure. Count Dooku. But this guy, I don't know if it'll come on camera. I don't know. But that's cracked. Right there. I mean, it does have some wear on the torso anyway. But yeah, that's a bummer. It's a big bummer. The cheapest asking cracked on one side of the torso has some scratches. Pretty much the condition I have. They're asking 30. That's probably the price I'm going to go with, because on average it sells for $60. It sold for, in February, it sold for $78. So I will just say 30. So that leaves me with that number. Whether you want to believe it or not, I do, because I actually did the valuation. But I think I did pretty well. Spent about $70. So I'm pretty satisfied with this lot. But let me know how you think I did down below, and I'll see you in my next video.